War Eagle War Report family, I am your host, C Dub. Tonight, we discuss Auburn basketball's victory over Winthrop, and we also do our predictions for the SEC matchups this weekend, and we'll also break down Western Kentucky versus Auburn on the latest edition of the Midweek Report. War Eagle, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I'm joined by Mike G. Ike Jones. You are watching the latest and greatest midweek report brought to you by auburnsports.com. Guys, auburnsports.com is your source for all news related to Auburn athletics, Auburn sports, Auburn football, all Auburn everything. Shout out to JG Tate and the guys for supporting the War Report as well as the midweek report. We want to appreciate you guys for hanging out with us as well. You can do us a quick favor. You can share this video if you're on social media, Facebook, Twitter. Use the hashtag #GetYourWeightUp. Even add us at the War Report if you're on Twitter or Facebook. Smash the like button on this video. Help us with our engagement. And if you're new to this channel, we would love for you to subscribe. Now, you need to become a member because Ike is dropping incredible content. Tell them about it, Ike.
I'm trying to do what I could do out here, feed the people. People need to eat. I'm feeding the people. You understand what I'm saying? $5.99, man. Go ahead and get you that Patreon membership because I'm dropping these watch the films every single week, man. Y'all are getting multiple videos from me every week. I'm going to start getting into these basketball film sessions here coming up. So you want to be on the inside to be able to do that. So $5.99 will get you there. Game day stuff, of course, if you're a supporter, you get to be a part of that. We got ticket giveaway stuff that we're doing. We're going to try to get some basketball tickets. That is a very hot ticket to try to get right now. So we're trying to get you guys some basketball tickets as well as we get into SEC play. We'll figure that out. But you got to be a member to take advantage of that kind of stuff. If you are a member and you want to try to help somebody else get on board with membership, super easy to gift memberships with YouTube. All you have to do from the live chat from a desktop computer is hit the little gift box button, and then you can gift memberships, and YouTube will randomly assign those to other people who are a part of the War Report community but may not have memberships yet. So you guys can get on point with that sort of thing. This live stream and every live stream, we are giving away stuff. We're going to go ahead and give away another one of these Weagle, War Damn Eagle, kick them in the butt, Big Blue. Hey, t-shirts sponsored by War Eagle Oil. WarEagleOil.com is your source for motor oil and motor related products. Head to WarEagleOil.com and tell them the War Report sent you when you get there. But today, hashtag get your weight up in the live chat to be able to potentially win one of these t-shirts. The weather keeps fluctuating, so I'll be trying to figure out whether I'm going to give away a t-shirt or a hoodie or a sweatshirt or something like that. But then I remember you can wear a t-shirt in any weather. So I just, revert back to the t-shirt sometimes. But I'm probably going to have a new sweatshirt dropping here sometime soon, too. So y'all stay tuned for that. But anyway, hashtag get your weight up. We'll do that drawing here around the 1 hour mark.
I'm voting it's sweatshirt weather. So
it's getting there for sure. I got a sweatshirt right now. So
I've been back in Alabama for over 10 days. And I forgot about that weird November. It could be cold or it could be hot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know. But I'm close to sweatshirt no matter what. Sweatshirt or nothing. So let's start giving away some sweatshirts.
Okay. All right. I see you brought the wall with you. The wall
the
has come
alley.
to Alabama. the alley has come with you to Alabama too. I see.
Yeah, I had Spider-Man deliver me one. So that y'all don't see my dad sleeping in the back.
That's very important. Cleveland Brown says, War Eagle fellas, War Eagle to you, good sir. Glad to have you with us. Real quick before we get into some topics, guys, I think I just deleted the comment here, but Drew Hopper says #PineBox.
Oh my God. I've been seeing this all over Twitter.
This has been amazing.
This is a Tommy
and
Tuberville reference, isn't it?
John Brandon basically commented that Ole Miss fans have been going loco this week. They're a little tight. They're a little emotional.
Yeah. Because it was not even a possibility in their mind 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, this wasn't a possibility. And now numbers are being thrown around, and he is clearly at the top of the list, and they are losing it on social media. So nervous.
Yeah. And the thing, here's what's really getting under their skin. And I tweeted it and really triggered some Ole Miss fans is the conversation about Auburn being a better job than Ole Miss. That's really what's been getting them real tight about that. And go ahead.
I mean, come on, man. Come on. I mean, I've said this before, but like, let's a dose of reality is necessary. Let's be clear here. As far as football programs and the prestige of football programs, I'm not talking about the trajectory of where we are right now, because look at our last 2 seasons compared to your last 2 seasons. None of that BS has got nothing to do with the trophy case that's empty right now in Oxford. Have you even won the division ever?
No.
Ever in the history of your football program have you ever?
Goose egg.
Come on, let's be for real, dog. Like, I get it. Your baseball team, our baseball team won. Stop.
Wasn't LSU supposed to be booty this year? Right, based on their last 2 seasons.
Yeah,
picked to finish 5th.
I'm just saying, like,
right, it could turn that quickly in the SEC West. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not even talking about quickly. I'm talking about historically, right? Like, let's be clear. Auburn is not the program that Alabama is historically. I can admit that and not sound like an idiot trying to convince you otherwise, because we know it's not true. Ole Miss fans, stop it. Just stop. Stop trying to convince yourself you're pretty. You're ugly. Once you accept the fact that you're ugly, then you'll realize I need some money. And right now, you don't have no money either. You're ugly and you're broke. You don't get the pretty girl. That's how it works.
They're not even adjustable 6, Ike. Dang.
No, you're ugly and you're broke. You don't get the pretty girl. That's how it works.
Wow.
That's just the way the world works. I'm sorry.
Caesar,
you can't be ugly and broke. You can't
Caesar,
be broke.
Things have changed around here.
Pick a struggle.
You said you
somebody had to keep this going.
Oh my God. Okay.
Mike dropped the N bomb while you was out. Like, I've been going off. You've been going off. So
okay, all right.
I mean, listen, man. The world is what it is, bro. Just come on.
Good stuff, gentlemen. Jay says, any truth to the rumor about Dabo reaching out?
From what I've heard, yes, that's true. Yeah, that his people reached out to find if there was interest. Yeah.
Here's what I'll say. There are 2 other candidates who are not sharing publicly that they are in the running. And John Cohen is taking his time to vet those guys to make sure that if they whiff on Lane, you have a backup plan. Right. And I think it's the smartest thing to do because much ado publicly is being made about Lane. But the truth is coaching searches can be very fluid. And you don't always get the first guy, right? You don't always get to Ike's point, you don't always get the hot chick.
And so let's be clear. Even if Lane Kiffin stays at Ole Miss, that doesn't make you not ugly and broke, right? You still ugly and broke, bro. Like, just maybe Lane Kiffin wasn't as pretty in the sunlight as we thought he was. Like, let's be clear. Once we got him outside the club, we was
Ole Miss just has a good personality.
Yeah, you got a nice personality. Okay, cool. Yeah, they'll use you up for whatever little bit you got for right now, and then they're gonna move on to somebody else.
Ole Miss
is
really nice.
Yeah, you're the safe school.
A club license bump everybody up like 2.5 points, right?
I mean, listen, right? Beer goggles, I get it. I get it. Beer goggles, I get it. Oh, Ole Miss. Oh, I mean, and nobody else around. You know, it's just all right, cool. I'll take Ole Miss. You know, I get it. I understand why you think it, because the pretty girl was flirting with you until somebody else came along that was actually attractive.
Yeah, and then
Mississippi
reality
State
starts
learned
to
that
set
lesson with their athletic director just recently. You're not as cute as you thought you were. You was okay. Not as cute as you thought you were, though.
Yeah.
in. Yeah,
Yeah.
Look a little funny in the light is all I'm saying, Mississippi.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin posted this thing on Twitter, or he retweeted this thing on Twitter about my plan and God's plan, and
Yeah.
then Pablo Escobar,
Yeah.
like the greatest tweet
One
I've
of the
ever
goats.
seen.
One
Yeah.
of the goats. One of the
Please.
goats.
That was quality. It was definitely quality.
Yeah, elite. Like, please go look at it. It was really funny. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. We're covering our second coaching search in 2 years.
Yeah.
I never thought we'd be here, but here we are. And this time it's going a lot differently. I think, guys, hear me out before we get into picks. I really think that this whole debacle with Harsin may have been a quiet blessing for Auburn. I think some of the things that were said about the quality of this job and the meddling and like a lot of things came to the forefront are forcing them to do business differently than they've done in the past.
Yeah.
Because the money they're talking about paying potentially is not money you give to somebody and then micromanage them. It's just not.
One would hope.
Right.
Right.
I mean, and if
Right.
if that is the plan, that's a whole new level of dysfunction. So I'm gonna go with that's probably not what's happening.
Right.
But I think that during the last coaching search, some things got said publicly, but for whatever reason, it was like they felt no shame about it.
Right.
And I think this go around, it's like, okay, this can't be the perception. Coach at Auburn, but you're beholden to all these mythical entities that work behind the scenes, and you won't know who you're working for, and you have to do what you're told, and all this foolishness, right? Like, I really do think that this could be the start of the changing of that narrative as it pertains to this job. So I don't know. I think the shame started to set in publicly. This is a different day and age. Social media is different. Media is different. So everybody was talking about how nobody worth a damn is going to want that job and have to put up with all that. And it seems like they're working really, really hard to change that narrative. And I think that's a result of these last 2 years.
Yeah.
Personally, and then the way that it ended. So I just wanted to, I've been wanting to say that for weeks and I have not been able to get that out. But I do think that it's going to be interesting to see how they operate moving forward and if some common narratives start to change.
For sure. Cleveland Brown says Ole Miss is that party chick that's fun under dim light.
Hey man, it is what it is, bro. Like,
you'll do a lot of stuff when you think nobody can see you. That's why they keep the lights low. Right.
Man.
So
all I'm asking you to do is understand your place in the hierarchy, man. That's all I'm saying. Like, once you embrace your place in the hierarchy, and if you embrace it, that doesn't mean you can't still win. I'm not saying Ole Miss could never win championships. I'm just saying you haven't ever done it.
But Lane himself said how difficult like NIL was going to be on.
Hey, let's ignore the fact that he complained that you guys barely show up to football games
while you were undefeated.
You got outbid for a defensive coordinator that he wanted to keep, and the NIL coffers aren't where that you would want to for him to be able to compete. Ignore the things the coach is actually saying and make up your own narrative. Go for it. Sure. We'll believe you over the guy you think is going to keep the job. And again, I'm not even saying I want Lane Kiffin to come here. I just want you to understand you are ugly and broke. You are. Don't worry about what I am. Look yourself in the mirror is all I'm asking you to do. That's it.
Yeah, your own state won't even allow y'all to be great. You can't even keep a coach on the contract longer than 4 years.
I just want you to just as long as you embrace your own situation, we can have a different conversation about me. But are you ugly? Are you, bro?
Now that's a
You ain't-
t-shirt.
Right.
That's a t-shirt. Are
You
you
ain't got
ugly?
no alibi.
Corey Weber says, are we really talking about a coaching search when we could be talking about how smooth Westry looked last night?
I thought a few things looked good last night. I'll tell you, that was the
Ole Miss won
most
one of them.
that was the most boring win I've ever watched. I was falling asleep in my chair watching that win.
I was loving it.
Yeah,
It was great.
enjoying it.
It was great, right? But I mean, it was mind-numbingly boring. Unfortunately, the game I watched after was not, but the ending was satisfactory. So
Gotta be talking about those guys in Lexington.
yeah, they lost.
Yeah.
Mostly because
It doesn't
Ty-Ty
count though.
wasn't there.
Ty didn't
Ty-Ty wasn't there.
play.
Tata wasn't there.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
count.
So but I thought Auburn played well last night. The game wasn't in doubt. They went on a 10-0 run very early on in the game. And Bruce Pearl is getting a lot of guys time.
Yeah.
You lost some on-court experience, and I think that, hey, listen, man, Flanagan is looking a little smoother game by game here.
Mhm.
He's doing all right.
Yeah,
He's
Allen.
doing all right. I'm
Allen,
liking what I'm seeing from the young man.
Allen is looking smoother. They said that he was dealing with some kind of turf toe injury or something during the broadcast that I had not heard, but I like what I saw from him. He looks confident from behind the 3-point line.
Yeah, he does.
Right. And our guy Broom, and just it was uneventful, but they dropped 89 on the Winthrop. And hopefully they'll continue to move forward. I'll be interested to see what the rankings look like next week with some big time teams losing. And Auburn is kind of in the same position they were a year ago, where they're a little closer to the front of the pack. But just, if they keep this up by midseason, are we talking about another number one ranking at some point this season?
Yeah.
Which I think is possible. So,
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this team develops as the season goes on. We've talked about how we felt like this team reached its peak. They peaked a little too soon last year, and it seems like the rest of college basketball caught up with Auburn. It's interesting to see how this team develops as they begin to find their groove. So the next game they have is on Friday against Texas Southern. They will take the court again at 7 p.m. So we will definitely be discussing that as well. Guys, let's get into picking some games, shall we?
Oh, just so we can acknowledge that this is a factual thing. Corey Weber says, didn't Tennessee get beat over the weekend as well?
They did.
You're correct, Corey. They did lose.
Who did they lose to? Who did they lose to? Like?
I don't even remember. I forgot.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I think. No.
Florida. Wait, no. That's.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, but it was Saturday though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was. I'm actually looking it up right now.
Somebody in the chat will probably tell us before you even get to it, but
I need to know. Are they
Colorado?
Colorado. That's right.
Colorado.
Yeah. At least Kentucky lost to a respectable team.
Anyway, guys, let's get into some predictions. Scorecard. Ike is way out in front. It don't even matter no more. We all went 4-1 last week.
It does matter. I could completely blow it these last 2 weeks of the season, man.
Yeah, I'm going on percentages here, on winning percentage.
I don't even know why Mike G's face is still up here on this scorecard. But,
winning percentage through the end here.
I don't even know why I'm still on the scorecard. But anyway, let's get into it and let's get to our predictions. This is going to be pretty a slow week. This is like cupcake week.
It is. So before we start, let me address this for a second. There is absolutely nothing wrong with playing one cupcake in November in the SEC. Nothing. So love
someone saying otherwise.
Yeah, I love them, but my guy Boomer on Twitter is just. This is shameful that the SEC is scheduling cupcakes in November. And
I mean, as opposed to having an entire cupcake conference that you're playing in.
Right. But my point is, after Oklahoma joins, they're going to be playing cupcakes in November.
They will have earned it by playing an SEC schedule, though.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I don't understand the sentiment that this game doesn't belong in November. These games don't belong in November. We had a pretty rough stretch with, playing Georgia and Bama back to back. And for those of you who don't know, right, like when they switched the schedule, it used to be one road, one away. And when they switched it, Auburn was like, hey man, this is rough. But Sankey, instead of going back to home away, he moved Georgia to the middle of the season. A lot of Georgia fans didn't like that at all.
Yeah.
They hated it. But I do not miss playing those teams in a 3-week span at all. So this game, I don't know. Like I said, I think that a November break in the SEC to break up kind of the conference games is not, if we're going to only play 8 conference games, they got to go somewhere. So why not November? I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, I don't understand the logic. I mean, you got to play the games regardless, right? So what difference does it make when you play the games?
Well, we're supposed to play them early in the season, so you have all your tough games later in the season, I guess. Because if you have a cupcake later in the season, then it invalidates it. I mean, there isn't an actual logic, so we'll just make up reasons. It's because if you eat cupcakes too late, you gain weight.
Ooh, I see you, lyricist. Ooh. I see you over there rhyming.
He didn't even have to try to do that.
Yeah, just that's hot. That's hot talk. All right, Ed Phillips, appreciate that.
That's hot talk.
Don L, appreciate that. He says it was great to see Mike G back on Locked On. Here's a little something to celebrate. Thank you.
Here's what Ed Phillips said. There you go.
Robbie and Tank really been blowing up my prize picks. Not Ike-like, but good.
Okay. Wait. Is he saying blowing up like in a good way?
I'm assuming yes.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Because I'll tell you what. Tank was blowing mine up in a bad way all season for the most part. It's been rough.
Yeah.
I was about like, hey, this is your prize picks. We're gonna bet on Oklahoma and USC. Anybody but Auburn. That offense was struggling.
It was rough. Yeah.
Yeah, man, for sure. Well, let's go ahead and get some of these predictions out the way. I'm pretty sure we're going to be in agreement on the vast majority of these. So
yes, a lot of cupcakes this week.
Yeah. Austin P at Alabama. I'm going Bama here.
Yep.
Doesn't it feel good for it to be November and we're sitting here and they have no chance of making the playoff? Like none.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk about them making the playoff at all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It does feel good. It's
enjoy
quiet.
It's
quiet in this state. Did you notice how quiet it was when you crossed the state line, Mike?
Yeah, it's weird. I'm in a weird spot because I'm in Alabama, but I got a bunch of Bulldogs like right across the river, like 5 minutes away. And you're right, it is quiet. I mean, they're oddly quiet right now. My niece is here and my mom has warned me that when kids go quiet, something's going on and you should check on them.
That's fact.
I feel that way.
That is sage advice.
Yeah, I feel that way about Bama fans. Once they go quiet, somebody check on them. Make sure they're not up to something. So,
yeah,
Bama in this one. I'm picking Bama.
Yeah.
East Tennessee at Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Mississippi State.
Yeah.
All right. UMass at
I don't know. Listen, I don't know if anything.
UMass. I think UMass covers.
Okay.
That's fair.
I'm going. They cover. They cover.
Covers. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm picking Texas A&M to win, but it's fair. It's UMass cover is not unlikely.
UMass is covering for sure. I'm gonna go Texas A&M in the game though.
But, I don't know, man. Is there a more dysfunctional program in the SEC right now?
Now that we're actually functioning correctly, no. But
I mean, even before, like,
nah, they. So I'll say this: the week of the Arkansas game, Texas A&M looked much better that week than we did. We looked terrible
when
that
they
week.
played. Did they play? It was Ole Miss, right? Was it the Ole Miss game?
I don't remember who they played that week. All I remember is
I think it was Ole
expected
Miss
them
because
to
they
get
put up a good
absolutely
fight.
destroyed in that game, and they looked like they were in it and they were playing hard. But now they are for sure the absolutely most dysfunctional team.
I disagree, Christian. I think we got room to talk. We didn't pay our coach $95 million.
Oh, we absolutely have room to talk. Let's be clear.
All right, yeah, and we didn't bring in the best recruiting class of all time.
We're not out here suspending players for what the player said is just wearing sleeves at the game. Like there's a lot wrong in College Station. Now,
I forgot about that. Yeah, he said
I'm not saying that Auburn is flawless, but again, we'll go back to my Ole Miss scenario. I'm not saying we're the prettiest girl out here. We definitely ain't the ugliest.
Yeah, for sure.
In this scenario, we ain't the ugliest.
We're strong 6. Right in the middle. Not gonna get noticed, but not gonna get not noticed.
All right. All right. Florida on the road against Vandy. Can Vandy get 2 in a row here, guys?
No.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
You know what? I've been quietly impressed with Anthony Richardson so far this season.
You know what? Anthony Richardson's gonna be good.
Yeah.
He's a gamer. He still has a lot of work left to do on some decision-making stuff, but good Lord, that young man can just freaking play football. Like he's not like the best quarterback in the world, but he can just play football.
He's a ball
you know who
player.
Who he reminds me of? Jalen Hurts. He reminds me a lot of Jalen Hurts and just his ability to just kind of go just ball. Like Jalen Hurts wasn't like the most precise passer in the world. He could just ball. It's just like for some reason he was making stuff happen, but you would never say, "Ah, man, Jalen Hurts is going to shred this defense this week with his arm." Like you're not saying that about Anthony Richardson, but you just feel like he gonna make something happen.
Yeah.
He reminds me a lot of Jalen Hurts in that way. I'm not saying that they play similarly. Like I'm not comparing their games.
Gotcha.
But I've been quietly impressed with him. And Florida has a chance to finish with 7 wins.
Yes,
I think right.
Yes.
So a lot of patience there. What's going on down in Gainesville? It seems like from their fan base and nationally, but I think they're on the edge of something good. I know Florida just took down Kentucky. Who did they beat?
No, they lost to Kentucky earlier in the season.
Vanderbilt just beat Kentucky.
Yeah, Vanderbilt just beat Kentucky, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But I'm not buying that that's going to carry over to this one.
While I forgot, I didn't even mention this in the Texas A&M. We don't actually have midnight yells either. Like that's just been terrible for a long time, and it's just been coming to light more recently that's an awful thing. So Texas A&M, bro. Like y'all just need to.
Is that before or after games this season?
That's before games. They do a midnight yell.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a pep rally, but it's run by a bunch of like really weird dudes in overalls with no shirts, and then they do the stupid little pose thing. Like it's just dumb. It's dumb. I hate it. I literally hate everything. Like the more I learn about Texas A&M, the more I dislike them.
But people were posting the midnight yell videos. They were posting the midnight yell videos on Twitter, and Texas A&M was copyright claiming them.
Really?
Yeah,
it's because they looked really stupid because they were posting the one right before they lost to Appalachian State.
Oh man!
And they were just like, "Nah, stop embarrassing us on the internet. We embarrassed ourselves enough in private."
Yeah, it was very cringy. I did not agree with it.
Number 1, Georgia against Kentucky.
I'm taking Georgia in this one. Listen, Georgia,
Kentucky just lost to Vandy. You can't convince me they're winning anything.
Georgia's the undisputed number 1 team in the country, and Stetson Bennett might be one of the most disrespected players I've ever seen in terms of his ability to be able. He's making plays out there, dude. Last week I saw him juke a guy getting in the end zone.
Yeah, he gave him a nasty shit. I was like, "Oh, Stetson, where did you get that one from, sir?"
Right.
Yeah, he pulled something new out the bag like every week just to remind you, like, I got this. I just don't be using it. Let's be clear.
Yeah, I mean, it hurts my heart. Like, I don't hate him like I hate Bama, but I'm telling you, like, Georgia is impressive. I thought debuting at number 3 in the college football playoffs or whatever the other week was complete joke. I thought that was a joke.
Yeah.
And they were leaning on the fact that Tennessee and Georgia had to play each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So that they could do that to kind of manufacture some drama. But, Georgia, I mean, if they're hitting on all cylinders, I don't think anybody's beating them. I don't care what team it is right now. Defensively, offensively, they can get you on both sides of the line. They're missing their best linebacker. Somehow they started playing better. Like
That's been the story of this team, has been their defense.
Yeah,
because
insane.
you expected them to take a step back defensively, and they have still been elite.
And I would argue for the last 2 years, Kirby Smart has been a much better coach than Nick Saban. For the last 2 years, Kirby Smart has been a much better coach than Nick Saban.
So there's a conversation to be had about whether or not Kirby Smart was the foundation of the most recent Bama dynasty. But we'll leave that conversation for another day.
Okay. I'd love to be a part of that.
We'll leave that conversation. I'm just going to put it out there, and
Set
you
my
guys
alarm
can
clock.
debate it if you want to in the chat and in the comments.
I see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I agree with that sentiment. I'm just putting the statement out there, and we can discuss it another time.
But I'm following the logic.
Yeah.
I'm following the logic, especially, yeah. Okay. All right.
No.
Number 5, Tennessee at South Carolina. I am going Tennessee.
If Tennessee can hang 100, if Heupel can hang 100 on South Carolina, he's going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they say style points don't matter, but like he's going to make sure it's not a factor at all if he can.
I don't think they have to hang 100. I think B's homeboy is going to throw a pick 6 maybe and spot him 7. So it's not 93.
I mean, Tennessee's not great against the pass. He's got an opportunity to put some points on the board, but I don't see a way. Even though this is at South Carolina, I don't see a way South Carolina wins this game. If they do, this will be the shock of the weekend for me.
Agreed.
No, the shock of the weekend is Austin Peay beating Bama. But I'm just saying, as far as SEC matchups are concerned.
Before we move on, though, is there a team right now outside of Georgia in a better position than Tennessee right now?
No, they don't have to play the SEC championship, and they have pretty much cakewalk games for the remainder of the regular season.
They're good.
This is why I think they run the score up just to make sure there's no doubt. But Michigan and Ohio State are going to have to play each other.
Correct.
And
then LSU is going to have to play Georgia.
And
what would hurt them is LSU beat Georgia.
Yeah, that would be the way that because LSU would then have played their way into the playoff. Georgia would definitely still be in the playoff. It probably pushes Tennessee out. Yeah. But I mean, that's hard because LSU's loss is to who? Tennessee. And they spanked them.
They spanked them. Right. Yeah. So I'm just saying, I'm looking at Tennessee sitting here. I'm not giving LSU a chance against Georgia. I'm not on that train. So,
yeah, no.
But like, and mostly because of Jaden Daniels. But like the
Jaden Daniels is probably the only reason they even remotely stay in that game, though, as far as their offense is concerned. But still, they're not going to win.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Kirby's going to scheme up something really good for him. But but Tennessee is sitting there. You got Ohio State and Michigan. And Michigan, they have to play each other, and they are not even meeting in the Big Ten title game. So that's their last game of the season. I think that the loser is going to be knocked out of this. I think TCU likely finishes undefeated. So we'll see how it ends up going. But I think Tennessee's in a great position to make this playoff and for the SEC to get 2 teams in again.
Yeah, we're in good shape to get 2 teams in for sure. All right, guys. Ole Miss at Arkansas. This may be the most intriguing matchup. As a matter of fact, let's skip that. Let's get to the easy ones. New Mexico State at Missouri.
Missouri's
Missouri.
UAB at LSU.
Ooh,
that's LSU.
Yeah,
UAB's not that good this year.
Okay.
Clark's on.
Oh, y'all don't have any issue picking LSU.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know why you acted like you was going to think
until
about
SEC championship.
Right. All right, Ole Miss at Arkansas.
Does all the lane talk affect this game?
No,
at all?
no. You're talking about do the players like be like, he ain't gonna be here? Like I'm gonna just chill and not.
Yeah,
I don't.
is there noise? Is there enough noise around Lane to affect Ole Miss on the field?
I don't think that affects it as much as them no longer playing for an SEC championship impacts their willingness to go out there and play hard.
I mean, because this is a pick'em spread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Arkansas got a lot of love for keeping.
I mean, but who's playing quarterback for Arkansas? Number one, that's a question.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And which Arkansas defense is going to show up, because their defense has been sporadically bad this season. Like they've been really bad and then they've played well. So I'm picking Ole Miss in this game. I don't know that unless Judkins and Evans for some reason decide I don't want to play the rest of this season because we don't have a chance at the championship anymore, they're going to run through this Arkansas defense.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with it. Ole Miss. I'm a Lane believer.
You are.
I'm a Lane believer. So win this one, Lane. Go out a winner. Go out a winner, not a loser.
All right, I'm going Ole Miss as well. Guys, we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts? What are some big matchups?
We gotta circle back to the one you skipped though.
No, that was it.
That was it.
Skipped.
I skipped Ole Miss and Arkansas.
Oh, was that the one you skipped? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Guys, we definitely want to hear from you. We want to hear your thoughts. Any upsets? We see some of y'all predicting Arkansas. So if you're watching on replay, we want to hear from you as well. Also, you are watching the Midweek Report brought to you by auburnsports.com. Please share this video if you're on social media. Use the hashtag, smash that like button on this video, and subscribe if you are new to our channel. Let's take time to acknowledge the sponsors of the War Report.
This edition of the War Report is made possible by our generous sponsors. AuburnSports.com. For news and notes on all things Auburn Sports, head over to AuburnSports.com. Athletic Architects. For young athletes looking to secure their financial future, let Athletic Architects help you to build your financial house. Head over to BuildTheHouse.com. And our giveaway sponsor, War Eagle Oil. War Eagle Oil is your #1 place for all of your motor oil and related products. For more information, visit WarEagleOil.com.
Definite thanks to all of the sponsors of the War Report. You too can be a financial contributor to the War Report just by signing up for a membership for the cost of like an extra value meal at McDonald's. You can be a member of the War Report and get all of our great content that we have behind the paywall. We appreciate everybody who has decided to come on board with the War Report, and we are going to continue to drop dope content for you all. $5.99 per month is going to get you to patron level, and that gets you everything, and we will keep cranking out that content for those of you who have decided to do that. We appreciate y'all so much. If you are a member and you want other people to feel the joys of having a green name in the chat, you can do that right now in the live chat. You can click on the little gifting thing and you can gift the membership. The first month of their membership will be on you. Then they got to pick up their own tab after that. So tell them don't be trying to freeload on you all the time. But they can go ahead and they can know what true joy feels like by becoming a member of the War Report community. And then they'll never want to leave ever in life, ever. But no, we appreciate everybody who's done that. But you can do that right now if you'd like to gift a membership to someone. If you want to get in on the drawing today, we are giving away a t-shirt courtesy of War Eagle Oil. WarEagleOil.com, as always, is your source for motor oil and motor-related products. Head to WarEagleOil.com to be able to do that. But for you who want to get on this drawing, hashtag get your weight up in the comments. Right now, I don't normally tell y'all how many people have entered. Right now, we have 66 people who have entered the drawing. Hashtag get your weight up. We'll be doing that drawing here in just about 20 minutes. So make sure you get your hashtag in here if you want to be a part of that drawing.
Guys, let's discuss Auburn's matchup this Saturday. Western Kentucky comes to town. The game will be held at 3 p.m. Central Time. It will be on the SEC Network. Auburn is favored in this game with the line, as well as the Football Power Index gives Auburn a 55% chance of winning this game. Auburn leads all time 2-0. Last time they played was back in 2005. I think we got the Texas A&M right here.
Yeah, it says Texas A&M, but that's the right score.
Gotcha. 37-14 was the last time they faced off. What will happen this weekend?
Okay.
Let's talk about the offense, guys.
This 55% is all they're giving us.
Mm-hmm.
And that is all about Auburn's inability to score points.
Factual.
Yeah.
That is all that's about. They don't know if this offense can score enough points to win, which is a pretty sad state of affairs to be in, if you ask me. But offensively, that has been kind of a carousel at offensive line. At one point, I think we went the whole first half last week with Robbie throwing 2 passes.
Mm-hmm.
Am I making that up?
It was a low number. I don't remember how many it was, but it wasn't a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he had not thrown a lot of passes, so it was clear that the strategy was to keep the ball on the ground, in which they did. They did successfully. I'm being told that even though Will Friend had the play sheet on the sideline, Ike Hilliard was driving that offense. Right.
It's interesting considering we threw the ball very little.
Yep. Ike Hilliard was kind of the architect of the game plan for that offense. So they went with what worked. The running game was definitely working. So it was good to see that. And I've had some players tell me that they wish that Ike Hilliard had gotten the OC job. I've had multiple players tell me that. So it was just interesting to watch against Texas A&M. At this point, I don't think that they're worried about fixing too much, or you know what I mean. It's just like any way to get the W,
right? At
this point, right? So you're 4.
Which I mean, at this point in time, you can't even set a precedent for anything. It's just like just go win.
Right? Yeah, just go in.
Right.
It just very interesting. Both Jarquez and Tank ran for 121 yards. Jarquez was averaging a ridiculous 9.3 yards per carry, though. He did his on 13 carries. He quietly had a monster game. And, Robbie contributed another 47 yards on the ground. I expect the game plan to look kind of the same. I think they're going to play to keep Western Kentucky's offense on the sideline for as long as they can, and then let this defense go out and hopefully dominate for a half, and then hold on for dear life in the second half. And that's what I expect this game. That's what I expect this game to look like, right? A few touchdowns. Hopefully, I mean, if they're lucky, 3 touchdowns in the first half, and then hopefully let your defense go out and win it for you in the fourth quarter. I think that's how Auburn wins this game, but. 5.5. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough because, like you said, I think it's more so about we haven't been able to score a lot of points. I did watch a little bit of Western Kentucky this week, just trying to see what we were getting into. From a defensive standpoint for Western Kentucky, they run it's a 3-3 really, but they run it kind of like a 3-4. So that star defender that they have,
kind of like a hybrid nickel,
is he's like a cornerback / linebacker, but they have 3 linebackers on the field, 3 down defensive linemen. What they'll do a lot of is creep those that outside linebacker and that star or one of those inside linebackers up to the line of scrimmage when they want to go to more of a bare front to try to stop the run. But they were getting pushed around a lot in the games that I saw. But what they do really well, which does not bode well for Auburn, is forced turnovers. They are number 1 in the country in forced turnovers this season. They have the most forced turnovers of any team in the country this season. So they are very opportunistic defensively. They give up a good amount of yards, but then they get takeaways. So that's going to be the challenge for us. Is just keeping
picks, fumbles, like Just both.
Yeah, they're just taking the ball away, man. They're finding ways to get they blitz a decent amount, especially if they feel like I watched the games that I watched, or the one that I'm speaking of specifically, I think it was Rice they were playing, and Rice was just running the ball all over him. But then, they'd get a stop and get him in 3rd and long, and then they would just blitz. They'd send everybody. Like, it was like 7-man blitzes that they were sending to force the guy into a bad decision. And he did. He would throw it up, or he would fumble it. But that sounds a lot like Auburn this season, right? Like, you get him in 3rd and long, and then make the quarterback have to make a play with pressure in his face. So it's going to be really important for us to win 1st and 2nd down, to get in 3rd and manageable, so that we can keep them out of their blitz packages, which we can do. We do have the ability, if we run the ball like we have the last 2 weeks on them, we have the ability to control the tempo and keep them out of those situations. Another interesting statistic that I saw about the Western Kentucky defense is that all season, so this is the 11th game of the season. So this will be their 11th game. They've only allowed 53. Let me make sure my notes are right. 57 points all season in the second quarter. They are dominating the second quarter, like almost 3 times as many points scored than they're giving up in second quarters of games. And that's really where they start to put their distance between people in the games that they've won, has been in the second quarter of the game.
Yeah, but they've never had to go against Cadillac's energy on the sideline. So we'll see how
it is a little different. It is a little different.
That affects the game.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how we approach this game. I do think we're going to see another. I mean, Cadillac was super clear about it in the presser. He was like, look, because somebody asked him, it seemed like we have like a 3-to-1 ratio run to pass right now in these 2 games that Cadillac is coached. And is he concerned at our lack of balance? And he was like, I want to get back to Auburn football. And I think that's being physical and aggressive. And, it takes it. He used wording, and I'm not quoting him right now, but basically saying you take a man's will when they know you're going to run the ball and you still do. And he's like, I'm trying to, basically, we're trying to snatch somebody's will away from them. Like,
yeah. What he said,
we're going to run it. We're still going to run it. And you can't do anything about it.
What was the quote? No, he said, I'm trying to get back to what exactly?
Auburn football and be physical. And he was like, I'm okay with where we are right now as far as running the ball versus passing it. He was like, I don't care. Basically, we're going to run it, and then we're going to run it again.
You know what that reminds me of? Call it him. Make Auburn football great again. And then you start thinking, when was the last time Auburn football was great in like his mind? Right.
It's when I was running.
Right.
Get it back to when I was there. When I was there, we didn't do all this throwing the ball around stuff. We turned around and we handed the ball to the best player on the team. Cough, cough. Me and my homeboy Ronnie. We did that. Tank Jarquez. Anybody remember that? Yeah.
Every receiver groaned and then started brushing up on their blocking.
Yeah.
Like every single one.
Like, but he was clear about it. He was just like, like in my mind, I'm like, man, we ain't finna land no wide receiver recruits now, bro. This isn't like, no, we're not. We're not throwing.
Oh no, we are. We are.
Yeah.
We are.
That's why they floated the lane rumors so early, so receivers would know that they would get the ball.
This is temporary, guys.
We're gonna get back.
I promise we gonna throw it.
And I'm just like, no, he's talking about the Auburn football he remembers.
Yeah,
right. He's not even talking about like Cam Newton, Nick Marshall.
Nah.
Yeah.
Listen, he's like, balance. What balance?
I'll show you balance.
We got 3 running backs.
We're gonna have balance a number of carries between the 3 running backs we got. That's balance right there.
You better hope we don't knock you off balance. That's balance we talk about.
Listen, Western Kentucky is they're in the top 30 in terms of scoring defense. It's obvious to expect them to want to crowd the line of scrimmage, put 8 men in the box, 9 men in the box, and try to stop Auburn. What kind of opportunities do you think we can expect in the passing game? Now, obviously, we had some weather conditions that made it tough to really have an effective passing game. What can you reasonably expect this week?
I mean, I think that the opportunities were there last week, right? Like we had our shots last week. But I mean, let's be clear, man. Like I know people are down on Robbie. The kid's playing hurt, man, and
Yeah.
He is hurt. Yeah.
he's not going to look like some stellar. Like he was already not like the most accurate quarterback in the world, but then you add the injuries to his throwing shoulder on top of that, where it's like he can't throw as many times as you might want him to. So we're kind of running out of necessity more so than Robbie can't do it, because I've seen Robbie rip passes. So it's not like he's just incapable of throwing, but they're trying to make sure that we're going to have a competent offense out there. And people are saying, well, why don't we play Holden? You lose something in the run game if Robbie's not in there. You just do. You lose an element. And well, part of that is y'all not watching the film with me, because if you watch the film, I'd show you on film how you're able to keep the same personnel package in the game. And they would have plays where Tank would be lined up in Wildcat, right? But Robbie's still on the field. But he's a threat to actually come and take a sweep or something like that because he's there. You have to recognize him. If that's Holden Garner standing out there in the slot, nobody cares. Who cares? What are we? He's not going to do anything over there. So you lose something in your ability to do that in your offense, especially when you want to run the ball the way we want to run it.
Robbie Ashford is built for tough, man. Like
he's a warrior, man.
He's a tough kid, and you know, without Finley available, you know, you got to protect Holden Garner, man. Like you cannot, behind this O-line, I think, risk throwing him out there and ruining his confidence, or, you know, setting him back, or at absolute worst, getting him hurt. Right. So you got to roll Robbie at this point. You know, again, a lot of people, because he's so tough, a lot of people are overlooking the injury.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're overlooking the injury. Right. So, you know, I mean, he's trying to get into the offseason and get healthy, and then, you know, figure out how he's going to, you know, hold on to this starting job in 2023. But we're gonna have another quarterback battle this offseason.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right, let's go ahead and flip it, Mike.
All right, moving forward.
All right, so here we have Ike. You can tell us kind of what you've been. I'm pretty sure you've been watching.
Yeah,
Western Kentucky on offense. What does their O-line look? We know what our defensive line has been looking like as of late. They've been eating as of late.
Mm-hmm.
How does the offensive line of Western Kentucky stack up?
I mean, they're quality, right? Like Austin Reed, their quarterback, I didn't see him under a tremendous amount of pressure. He makes good decisions. He manipulates the pocket well. But I don't, in none of the games that I see a defensive line that looked like our defensive line that they were up against, though, right? Like they were doing okay, but they weren't up against the guys that we could try out there. The defensive line that's playing more like the defensive line we were bragging about in the offseason is showing up these last few games. And I think that we can present problems to them. But Western Kentucky is going to be one of those teams that's going to be trying to move quickly, get the ball out quickly to negate what we can do from a defensive line standpoint. So that means we're going to have to challenge those receivers early in their routes, or we're going to have to mix up the coverages in the back end so that he doesn't know what he's looking at, make him hold it just a beat longer. But their offensive line is they're solid. There's some listen, the Conference USA, though they're not a Power 5 conference, they do have quality talent in that conference.
Yeah.
You know, so they can pose a threat. I'm actually worried about whether or not we're going to be able to hold them long enough while our offense figures it out, because they can score points in bunches.
Yeah, that's why I was saying hopefully offensively we can limit their offensive possessions.
Yeah,
running the ball down the field and not giving them a ton of opportunities here. But I mean, the defense played really well last week.
Yeah,
all things considered. I really wanted that interception for, was it DJ James?
DJ James, yeah.
I really wanted that interception for DJ James. He made a good play on the ball. But they're going to need a few takeaways here, I think, on these guys.
Yes, I think, and they will give the ball away. Every game that they've lost the turnover battle so far this year.
Right.
When Western Kentucky has lost a turnover battle, they have lost the game. if they they're less likely. I think I was looking at how many losses do they have right now?
It's 4.
So 5 games this season, they've scored less than 20 points. They only won 1 of them.
Okay. I like those odds.
So, actually, I think they lost 1 game where they scored it, but like they gave up. I think they lost 33-30 in 1 game, but like but still they've only every other time someone has limited them to less than 20 points, they've lost, except for the 1 game they won against UAB, which was like 20-17, but UAB had 4 turnovers in the game.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So it's like you protect the ball and you can play good defense, you can beat this team, right? But they want to go out and they want to fast break on you. They want to score in bunches, and they're going to try to get you into a turnover scenario. But that's the recipe to beat them. Hold them under 20 if you can, and don't turn the ball over.
Right.
This is mostly a pass heavy team, pass heavy offense?
For sure. Sure. They don't run the ball a lot. This is almost like playing Mississippi State again, except for it's not a it's more like it's not so much air raid in the fact that they're running like to open space and then it's just timing. It's more like screens and like it's almost how Gus would play, where it would be run, then try to throw it over the top. What they're going to try to do is short pass, get you to creep up and then hit you with a long one. Or they're going to hit that LSU kind of quick slant game, and then their receivers are getting yards after the catch running the open field. So it's more like how Tennessee plays, right? Like they want to spread it out. They want to get quick throws. And they want to really try to get you running sideline to sideline and then throw it over the top. And Austin Reed he's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Their offensive coordinator from last year went to Texas Tech, I believe.
Yes.
And he was actually on the short list of offensive coordinator candidates that we were looking at. After Austin Davis fell through.
I thought that was weird, by the way.
Yeah, but I remember watching their offense, and it was exactly what I described, like very air raid-ish.
Yeah,
right, and they could put up points fast and quick. So
they scored in like 3 plays. The first game I watched them play, they scored 3 plays. It's like I was like, good God.
Yeah, man.
Now they were playing a terrible team, but like it took them no time whatsoever.
Yeah, the system looks smooth and the play calling looks smooth, and I know it's a different guy, but like the brand of ball that they play is kind of the same. So yeah, this is something for us to worry about if the defense has an off night.
Yeah,
for sure. So like holding teams to 10 points and and not winning should not be a real thing. But it is going to be a worry for the next couple of games here at Auburn, and I hope that they can get their stuff together, man, and do this right. Like this is a game they should win.
Yeah, they're going to go out there. Let's be clear. Auburn's going to go out there and try to punish them for 4 quarters. Like they're just going to like physically try to beat up this team as much as they can. But I'm going to tell you right now, Western Kentucky is going to come in here confident, feeling like they can win this football game. And if you let them hang around early, that confidence is just going to keep growing. Like they need to go out there and like it needs to be what Cadillac is saying. Like we're going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball, right? We're still going to run it. And then when they realize physically you can't keep up with us and we're just going to keep leaning on you and leaning on you and leaning on you, by the 3rd quarter, hopefully their will is broken and they're just like, yo, okay. That's why they're in the Power 5 conference and we're not.
Right.
Got some questions here. Thomas Sanders asks, is Brandon Council healthy?
So he did go out in the last game, but he was also in this week's pressers and he said he was going to play. So I don't know if he's 100%, but he's going to play.
Okay.
He came back in that last game as well. So he went out for a little while. He did come back in and play. He was one of the guys at the press conferences for the midweek. So I'm assuming he's ready to go.
Yeah, and
this is his last home game. He wants to play this game.
Yeah, when they showed him on the sideline too, he was like up and moving around and like
trying
you know,
to jog and all
yeah,
that kind of stuff.
yeah. I didn't see. It didn't seem like he was, terribly hurt, but some of that could have been precautionary, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. Alex Wilson says, I would like to see Coach Caddy get an interview if he wants it. I do not want Ole Miss's trash. It ain't my treasure.
Almost everybody is somebody else's. Somebody commented on one of our videos about Coach Prime, actually, and it's like they're like, he's our coach. Get your own coach. And I was like, well, if we hire him, he will be our own coach. Like, everybody used to work somewhere else. Like, you're not gonna find somebody who's just never coached anywhere before. Somebody used to have a job somewhere else. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah, I think there were some other things kind of behind that, but like, but ultimately, I don't know, man. Like, this has been a topic of conversation, I think, in the Auburn Twitterverse, where people are just kind of like, and a lot of people outside of Auburn are worried about family business here, but like
factual,
like, hey, how they gonna do Caddy like this? And I'm like, doing like what?
Doing like what?
Right, and then saying, hey, if they don't hire him after this, and like literally suggesting 1-year contracts, and I'm like, what? Like, please sit down. Listen, man, I love Cadillac. He is everything Auburn.
Yeah,
he is. We fall in love with the idea here of the legacy guy, the Auburn man. But the truth is, man, he's not ready for this job. He's not.
I mean, so here's the thing. Even if he were ready for this job, or even if he's not ready, in my mind, that doesn't eliminate him from contention. But being ready for this job and being the best person for this job right now are actually two different things.
Two different things. Correct.
Correct.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, ultimately, you want to make sure, like, I was reading one of Lane Kiffin's stipulations is full autonomy.
Any coach coming here better have that in their language.
Right. Like,
right.
Write your checks and sit down and shut up. But like so autonomy will mean not telling that coach that he has to keep somebody. Right. But I do think it will be, hey, just do us a favor and give him a look. There are a lot of positives, obvious positives to keeping him. I think, number one, I think he's good at his job as a position coach.
Right.
So let's just start there.
Right.
Number two, obviously, would be recruiting. And then number three are intangible stuff, like he's an Auburn guy. And like, I don't know. We recorded Mike Mack and memes last night. So it'll debut. But Brandy had made a point that like Ole Miss's like running back coach has been on that team, like coaching staff, for the last 15 years.
Oh, so good. He'll just stay over there.
Right. So like,
right.
It's going to be, I think there's a chance, a more than good chance that he stays. And I think, and who knows, man, depending on how the cards may
not
fall,
better than Caddy, so it doesn't matter.
How the cards may fall. I'm going to be interested to see if some other prodigal sons come home.
On the defensive side.
I
know where you're going. I know where you're going.
If we make this higher, so it'll be very, very interesting to watch.
There is a growing amount of former Auburn football players who want to come back and coach for this team and for no other reason than they're tired of not seeing Auburn be great, and they're like, let me come back and contribute again to the greatness of Auburn. I can help you guys get back there. More than I've seen ever in the history of being an Auburn fan, have guys wanted to come back and coach here, right? Like they're chomping at the bit for an opportunity to get a coaching opportunity with Auburn.
Yeah.
And that's great because some of these guys are phenomenal coaches.
Right. I agree. Mike Hendrick, before we pivot off of this completely, Mike does he is curious about the scrambling capabilities of their quarterback, Ike.
Nah, he's not really a runner. He can run, like if you given him, but he's not like a guy, like he's not going to break us off for a Stetson Bennett. I don't even know how long that run. Like he's not doing that. He's kind of like I think he's about 6'3", 2 something. Like he's a big guy, but like stout, right? Like he's a stout dude, but he's not fast. But if you give him an opening, yeah, he'll go get 10
Is
yards.
it kind of like Houston's quarterback in the bowl game?
Yes.
Okay.
Very much like how Houston's quarterback was in that bowl game.
Mm.
But he ain't making nobody miss in the open field.
Christian Crawford says, I agree with the national folks, though. I think they are exploiting Caddy for the sake of the season, and I don't like it. Give the man a real chance beyond this year.
So let me address this, because I don't like the word exploitation in this. Because is Cadillac being used to garner emotion and support for Auburn? Yes. Yes, he is. Does Cadillac want to be used in that manner? Yes. He volunteered to come out here and champion this effort. So that's not exploitation. That's him understanding where the program is and saying, okay, I'll get us to where we need to be. No problem.
All right.
That's not exploiting, though. Like, Cadillac's not some helpless, damsel in distress that needs rescuing from a bunch of people who feel like they're trying to turn him into this puppet. Cadillac wants to be, because he wants this. Again, I just said about these other, there's just a different mindset amongst these guys that are like, I'm tired of seeing my program look like crap. And so whatever I need to do, if that means I need to get up on videos and do it, if that means you need me to go do PSAs, if I need to go talk to kids at high schools, I don't care. I'm tired of seeing Auburn look like crap. I'm here. Use me.
Right.
That's all they're saying. And it's a bunch of dudes saying it. But for whatever reason, Cadillac's being exploited. That's not exploitation, bro. That's not how that works.
Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah. This is an unbelievable career opportunity for him as well, too.
So I understand your sentiment. I know I said that in a very harsh way, Christian. So I don't want you to feel like I'm seeing that narrative a lot. And I'm just like, I don't agree with that narrative, because I guess because I have not spoken with Caddy directly, but I have talked to some people who've talked to him. And Cadillac wanted this, not the head coaching job. He wanted this particular responsibility.
Yeah.
He was asked, hey, if we give this to you, will you do it? He said, sure, if. And he gave his conditions, and then he signed up for it. That's like you saying somebody, well, never mind. I'm not going to give that analogy because it's going to take us in a different direction. But yes, I don't agree with exploitation.
And why
it's a mutual thing.
And why wouldn't you want to take that opportunity, especially if this is a university that you love?
Yeah.
Also, too, how many interim coaches get real looks? It doesn't happen often, unless usually it's a coach who gets fired early in the year, and the interim coach takes that team and they still go to a bowl. They end up having an amazing season.
But Cadillac will tell you himself, he didn't ever really want this job. He never wanted to be a head coach.
Yeah.
He said it today when they asked him the question in the teleconference today. They asked him, and of course he gave the very much like, listen, all I'm focused on right now is Western Kentucky. And he's saying the same thing to the kids who keep asking in the program, like, who do you think the next coach is going to be? He's like, look, y'all worried about the wrong thing. We got a game to go play. You're worried about who's going to coach you next year. I'm coaching you right now. Let's go beat a team Saturday.
Right.
And he also said, he's like, I never really wanted to be in this position. He did it because they needed him to do it. And so he just stepped up and did it.
Yeah. Would there be a better storyline in all of college football over the next 2 weeks than Cadillac winning his last 2 games to get Auburn Bowl eligible?
Listen, we could win this week. The storyline would still be amazing if Cadillac beats Bama.
That's kind of my point. My point is, because of who the last game is, would it be a better storyline?
It'll be incredible poetic.
You will not be able to get that. Yeah, you won't be able to get that off SEC Network.
Considering Go Crazy Cadillac is like this whole thing, and that is from a Bama game, absolutely. It's just going to be.
And the fact of how he ended up at Auburn anyway, because he wanted to go to Bama. So to lead them,
it's going to be a 30 for 30. It's going to turn into a 30 for 30.
Like full circle. That would be an insane
and you know what?
story.
In my mind, Cadillac could be like, I'm satisfied. Like he will feel the ultimate satisfaction from that. Like, because
Yeah.
again, he didn't ever think he was going to be in this position to begin with.
Did
Now
you see
that
they
he
got-
has a taste of it, does he want it more? Possibly.
Maybe.
Did you see they got pictures of him getting the Gatorade bath up in the athletic department already versus Texas A&M?
Mm-mm.
It was quick. Like they put it up quick. Like it was such a legendary
Wow.
moment, right? And so if you could be the team that hands Bama their third loss, win in Tuscaloosa, God knows how long. I don't know when was the last time. The last time we went up there and won was in 2010, right?
Came back.
Yeah, in over 12 years and get bowl eligible, man. Come on. Listen, I've said this a lot prior. I usually say it during basketball season, but a lot of other schools hate the joy that Auburn fans have around Auburn. In general.
yeah.
They hate
Yeah,
it,
facts.
right? And being able to find joy in this 4-6 team is something that a lot of their small minds can't comprehend.
Yeah.
It's actually envy.
Yeah, right. And
Yeah, because they're actually miserable in their lives and they don't like when other people are happy.
yeah, well, a lot of people fall into the trap of thinking if you're not playing for a championship, you're not playing for anything. And there's plenty to play for right now because you're playing for recruiting. If you don't think Texas A&M was big for recruiting, look at the amount of recruits that tweeted out videos from that game.
Right.
Talking about how electric the atmosphere was, and they were down on the plains. You're playing for pride. These are prideful players, man. Like if you saw the pregame stuff, and I didn't tell you these two teams were 3-6, you would have thought it was the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
It was nuts. So they have a chance to do something special over these next few weeks. I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out. Beat Western Kentucky, man, and the storylines going into the Iron Bowl are going to be nuts. I might even deliver a hype video for that one. Like it's going to be nuts watching how it's covered, because I swear during the basketball game at halftime they were still talking about the Texas A&M win.
They were
They were still talking about Caddy and the Texas A&M win. So like beat Bama, man, and you go into like a legendary. Right, and I really want them to get bowl eligible because I want this team to get the extra practices,
Mm-hmm.
and I want some guys to get the bowl game experience. There's some freshmen on these teams that they've never been to a bowl game. They don't know what it's like. It's a fun experience for the team. So
I'm just excited. I think it's dope to see this much excitement around a program that has fired its coach and is sitting at 4-6. Most people don't even care, and they become an afterthought. And these games are a formality. For these games to be as meaningful as they are says a lot about this program, its fan base, the coaches, Caddy, everyone. So
yeah,
it's been amazing. Let's go ahead and get into our drawing, guys. Before we get into facts or nah, we are giving away a Weagle War Damn Eagle t-shirt. Soon as I can find it, here it goes. You already know, hashtag get your weight up. Ike is ready to draw. How we looking, Ike?
103.
hey, not bad.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Jay Flowers says, I'm finally.
Let's see if he called his shot.
I see his name.
Oh, it's not you, but it's
not
Valencia.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Jay. Maybe next time.
Congratulations, Valencia. And we know you be hanging out with us. We know you're around, but
it's
let us
all
know. Please let us know if you're here. Hopefully your phone hasn't rung. You haven't hopped off. Please let us know that you're here so we can acknowledge you. Okay. While we wait for her, Ike, are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
That time?
Yes, that time. We are going to get into Facts or Not, sponsored by the Rogue Shop. Head to rogueshop.com using code Rapport if you want to get 15% off of your purchase. That's rogueshop.com for all of your herbal supplement needs. We are going to do this Facts or Not style.
Real quick, Ike, real quick. She's here.
Okay.
Before we she says I'm here finally. Thank y'all. Valencia, please be sure to go to email us at business@thewar-rapport. Business@thewar-rapport. We need your shirt size and your physical address. Congratulations, Ike, as you were.
All right, well, let's get to this Facts or Not style. And we are, again, sponsored by the Rogue Shot, Facts or Not style. We're going to hit y'all with a couple of questions here. Get your questions ready in the comment section. Make sure you start it with facts or nah, and we will get to those questions after we run through ours here. So, fellas, are we ready to do this?
Yeah.
All right. Facts or nah? Auburn will be able to hold Western Kentucky under 25 points in this game. How are we feeling? Who wants to start it off? I'll start it off. Okay, I was about to say I'll start it off with Mike, but he already in there since he hadn't been here in a while.
Yeah, I want to go facts on this one. I'm a believer in this Auburn defense right now. They're playing with a lot of heart, with a lot of pride. I know that Western Kentucky can put up some points, but I also know that this Auburn defense can get after the quarterback when they're properly motivated. I think they're properly motivated right now. I'm going facts. I think they hold them to about 18.
Okay.
I'm going to go facts here as well, just because Auburn has played very well against the pass, and this is what Western Kentucky likes to do. They're at home. They're not on the road. Very impressive against Mississippi State. So I expect them to be very impressive at home with a very hyped up crowd, playing with a lot of energy. I suspect that they will hold them under 25 points. And is with the way Auburn's been playing with ground and pound, control the clock, this is the type of game you want anyway. So I think if Western Kentucky scores over 25, I wouldn't like Auburn's chances. So for the sake of Auburn pulling this one out, definitely going facts.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to go facts on this one as well for a lot of the same reasons, but mostly because I feel like that's the magic number. I know I said 20 earlier if you listened to the other show or you listened to the show earlier. That was the number that we really needed to get for. I think that's the number that Auburn needs to shoot for is sub 20, but I think sub 25 will get you in a place that you need to be if you can play mistake-free football as far as turnovers are concerned. That should be enough to get you home. I'm going to go facts on that one. Auburn is going to be able to make it happen under 25 points.
All right, fellas. Facts or no? Auburn logs at least 2 turnovers versus Western Kentucky on Saturday. 2.
I'm going facts on this one. I like our chances, especially with the guys we got up front. I think that QB his clock's going to be off. I think we get some pressure on him. I think we see some mistakes happen in this game. Loud crowd atmosphere. I think we do get 2 turnovers in this game. I'm going facts.
You know what? I'm going to go facts on this one as well. I feel like this defense is hungry right now and they are out hunting turnovers. I did watch, as I mentioned, some Western Kentucky football. As good as I feel like Austin Reed is, he is prone to just throw a couple up for you to be able to pick off, as well as I think the pressure from our defensive line is just going to force some anxiousness in the pocket from that young man. So I am going to go facts on this, at least 2 turnovers from the Auburn defense this weekend.
Yeah, I'm going to go facts. Sack fumbles. 2 sack fumbles in this one, I think. Watching, Derek Hall and Kobe Wooden and Marcus, was it Harris that was getting after it Saturday? I think we see a lot of the same. I'm invoking the spirit of the 2021 Iron Bowl on defense. Lots of sacks. Kill the quarterback. Make sure he has a terrible day. Facts, at least 2 turnovers via the sack fumble.
Gentlemen, facts or nah? This week will make 2 weeks in a row we have 2 100-yard rushers.
Yeah, I'm going facts on this one. Listen, Jarquez Hunter is dirty. He's averaging like 1 million yards per carry. He doesn't need 20 carries to get there either. He seems to be seeing the field well. He's bouncing now outside really well. He's running up the middle well. Jarquez Hunter for president. I say facts. Tank's going to get his carries. In this one. I'm not worried about that at all. But I wouldn't be surprised if Robbie busts a big one and we have 3 100-yard rushers.
Yeah, I'm going to go facts as well, just because I know we're going to be committed to the run in that way. And again, I did just watch a couple of teams run through that Western Kentucky defense. I think Western Kentucky is going to do their best to put as many people as they can in the box. But I watched Auburn get 6 and 7 yards with Texas A&M putting 7 and 8 guys in the box. I watched them do it last week. So I think we will be in an opportunity to be able to do that again against Western Kentucky. So 2 100-yard rushers, I'm going facts.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going facts here as well. I like what you guys have said. I just think our commitment to the run, especially with who our interim head coach is, there's no reason why we don't have at least. And I like how they're sharing the ball between Tank and Jarquez, as well as Robbie getting opportunities as well. I think between those three, we will have at least 2 100-yard rushers in this game. We definitely needed to get this offense going, so I'm going facts.
Yay.
All right, let's hit this comment section and see what we got going on.
All right. Joe Kyle says, backdoor, facts or nah, or no comment. Auburn does not sign Kiffin, Dabo, Rule, Freeze, or Dion.
I've been on the no Hugh Freeze train for a minute. There's a faction of people who think that that's a possibility. I think those people are on some special kind of new street drug. I don't know, man. Like, I'm going to say I never really thought Dion was a possibility. I thought that was more of just like a media talking piece. And then when it comes to Kiffin, I don't know that Dabo is one of the two, or I'm not going to say that Dabo is one of the two guys that they're looking at outside of Kiffin, but I do know that it is smart to have a backup plan just in case. You reach some kind of impasse with Kiffin, because I do expect Ole Miss to punch back here as best as they can from poverty. So we'll see how it goes. But like I find it highly unlikely. I don't know, man. I think they get it done with Kiffin.
I like a point that Josh Pate made. If you don't get Kiffin, you use him as a smokescreen to get the guy that you may actually really want.
Okay.
Because while people are thinking Kiffin, you've already heard there's 2 guys who've reached out who may make this search even more interesting. You don't know who those guys are, so you can do what you need to do. So it's likely that Kiffin clearly is the front runner, but I like the fact that all we've been hearing is Kiffin at this point. Mm-hmm. That makes me feel good instead of a whole bunch of other smoke with other people. So that's something that we have not had happen 2 years ago. We were hearing all types of people saying they talked to this guy, they talked to this person. We're not hearing that this year. So that's encouraging.
That's true. Yeah, it's a lot less. Hey, my uncle went to lunch with a booster, and he said that, Saban was going to quit Bama and move to the Bahamas and then come back to Auburn. All right, like we heard everything last year, the 2 years ago. So I'm hearing a lot less of that this go around.
All right, you got any thoughts?
I think it's unlikely that it's not one of the names in that group right there. So, I mean,
anybody but Freeze.
But here's the thing: I don't know. I have no freaking clue.
So you're saying you don't know?
Yeah,
gotcha. All right. John Brandon says, facts or nah, Auburn has less than 2 turnovers. You asked that we do get turnovers.
Yeah, this is the other side of the coin. Do we turn the ball over less than 2 times in this game? I mean,
both running backs technically fumbled the ball in the last game.
We had 1 drive.
And we didn't lose either of them, right?
Yeah, Robbie
technically we should have lost one of them
because Jarquez's they got back.
Yeah, I'm about to say no.
Yeah, but they ruled
Jarquez was
down.
The one where what's called
he was out of bounds.
Yeah, I'm saying had that not been the case, they definitely recovered that one.
And then
if the Tank fumble had actually gone to review, they definitely recovered that one. So we lost both of those fumbles.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know it's been a month and I got hella sunshine to pump, but I'm gonna go now on this one.
God, I hope not.
I mean, because when you only do one thing, they're going to attack that thing, which makes to me makes turnovers more likely. And I've always felt like I started asking the question when we started the War Report about tanking ball security,
which he had done a great job this season up until that play.
Yeah, but like, I mean, when you're feeding him so much and there's so much try to make a play when sometimes you should just go down, turnovers happen. So I don't know. I could see Auburn turn the ball over 3 times in this one.
Yes.
Yeah, I really hope
that
not,
would be
that's how we
devastating,
lose the game, honestly.
Yeah, that's devastating.
It sucks, but it is what it is. The defense is about to save us.
I still have enough sunshine to pump. I'm gonna go facts on this. We do turn the ball over.
Okay.
I'm gonna give us one. We probably put the ball on the ground another time, but we only lose the ball. We only turn it over once. So I'm going facts. Right.
I'm gonna go facts on just hope.
Right. Lawrence Robinson says facts or nah. Camden Brown gets 3 receptions. I'm going nah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go nah on this one as well. I just don't think we're gonna throw the ball very much. He should, but I don't think we will.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with you guys on this one.
Okay. Facts or not, Auburn has 10 or less penalties for the game.
I'm gonna go facts on that one.
Facts, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go facts on this just because we're at home. We that's typically when we're that close, we're usually on the road. You may see us do some stuff like take penalties just so we can back up and punt the ball and pin them deep. That's we acquired like 2 or 3 penalties like that last game, but I don't think we get to 10 or over 10. All right. Facts or nah? This may not. I think I may know Mike's answer based on previous answers. Facts or nah? Auburn scores a defensive touchdown.
We'll go no this one. I mean, they'll get some sack fumbles in this one, but I don't know, man. Like this is just not the year where they're doing that kind of stuff. So I don't think so. If we do, it'll be something like a blocked punt recovered in the end zone or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna go nah on this one as well. I don't think that we just haven't shown the propensity to do that at all this season. We haven't even come close. So I'm going to go nah.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Williams says, facts or not, Auburn scores enough that Holden gets in the game in the 4th quarter.
No.
Nah. Nope.
Unfortunately, I feel like this game is going to be in question in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, I'll tell you, points will be at a premium. So, no. And like, what does that score look like for Holden to get in?
I mean, at the rate in which Western Kentucky can score, they would have to have pulled their quarterback first.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
If Western Kentucky's like, all right, game's over with, then maybe we put Holden in for like the last 2 drives or something.
Okay. Yeah. I really like Holden Garner, by the way. Like, I think everything I've heard about him says that he's going to be really, really good quarterback.
He's super talented. But behind this offensive line, I don't think he has a prayer.
I mean, we saw a glimpse of that against Missouri, right? Wasn't it Missouri? He got out there and it was like,
oof.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah. I think that's it.
All right.
I think we're good. We got a few more comments to get to, but we appreciate you guys checking this out. Shout outs to our sponsor, the Rogue Shop. Guys, you already know, hit code Rapport to get your gummies, all of your supplements. Shouts out to the Rogue Shop for being a supporter of the War Report. Gentlemen, let's get back to it. Jay Flowers says, I feel famous anyway. I'm saving this episode. Y'all said my name. War Eagle.
Flex on them. Jay Flowers.
Yeah,
Jay Flowers,
let
Jay
them know.
Flowers.
Let them know. It said it's better than the t-shirt. I got the next best thing. They noticed me. All right. John Brandon says, what's the over and under? 52.5.
I was going to say, I don't know because I can't sports bet in Alabama.
Well, you just go down the street.
Yeah, even that one. Can't do it in Georgia either.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. I thought you could do it in Georgia.
They're not on the FanDuel list. Hopefully, maybe they're on the DraftKings list. But I will go sit at the Circle K and get these parlays.
Circle K. Not the Circle K, bro.
It's the first thing across the bridge when you go to Columbus is the Circle K.
Didn't our transfer defensive end come from there, Bragg?
Marcus
Yes,
Bragg
he
did. Yes.
Maybe he knows some signals or calls to help us out.
Yeah, listen, their old director of player development at Western Kentucky is a former Auburn Tiger. His name is Wayne Dickens. And he, fed us some info about this young man. I think he's played fairly well this year. He's, his name's called and he's made some plays.
Yeah, he's been hurt though. I don't. He hasn't been playing as much lately, but
yeah, but when he's got on the field, I've seen him do some good things. So there's definitely some talent there.
He's been a pleasant surprise because I think a lot of people didn't expect much. He was kind of a late addition or addition from the transfer portal. People just thought we were just picking up numbers, especially when you had guys like Aku, Hall. People were expecting Dylan Brooks to come on. People didn't expect much from Bragg, but Bragg showed us a lot, and we needed him, especially at times in this season when we were like down to maybe one edge rusher at one point. So he's definitely been a good godsend. Sabah says Kiffin versus Freeze. All resources equal. Who wins in a matchup against each other and why? Thanks for the great content as always.
I'm going with the Mad Hatter. I'm going with Kiffin. He's going to go for it on 4th down 13 times against Freeze and make it.
That's the reason I'm going.
That's why he's going to lose. That's why he's going to lose.
That's the reason I'm going the other direction because I feel like he's going to leave points on the board.
Yeah, when I was watching that Bama game, I was like, they didn't go for it on 4th down that many times in that game. I was shocked.
I think like 2 or 3 times the whole game.
But I was
the times he did do it, I was just like,
oh, here we go. Take the 3 points.
Right.
This is a great question.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Kiffin the edge, only though I feel like he's the better recruiter.
Ooh, I actually think that Freeze is the better.
I think
recruiter.
Really?
I think Kiffin's the better. He's worked the transfer portal better, but I think Freeze is the better recruiter.
Who is the better developer of quarterback talent between these two guys?
That's
a good question.
That's a really good question.
Because both these guys are proven. Both these guys are proven that they know what they're doing.
I'm still leaning Freeze here.
I don't know. I actually think I would go Kiffin here.
Kiffin. But not by a ton.
That's a really good question, though. No.
I'm leaning Freeze.
I think Freeze is good. I just don't know that so I'm thinking about how much better those quarterbacks have been because of like his development. I think he puts them in good systems, but I think Kiffin actually makes people better quarterbacks, right? I think Freeze has systems that fit his like he develops systems around his quarterbacks a little better, but I think Kiffin makes people better quarterbacks.
Correct. Is that partly due to play calling? Which one of these is the better play caller?
That's another good question because they're really good play callers.
No, I would probably go Lane on this one.
Yeah,
I would probably go Lane on this one.
Yeah,
Kiffin's a really good play caller, man. I think Kiffin is a better play designer. I think situationally, Freeze might be the better play caller.
Okay, so I'll tell you this. My mom and I were eating dinner. She made some bomb ass fish, and she reminded me.
Oh, shout out to Thomas Sanders. I forgot to say this for gifting subs today. So, man,
appreciate that, Thomas.
Thank you, Thomas. She reminded me, we were talking football. She reminded me that before Kiffin left Bama, and he was having a prolific season, and he interviewed took an interview right after the SEC championship game, and Saban let him go. Right before the national championship game, and they lost. And the offense did not look great in that game. They didn't have Lane as a play caller.
Was that when they played Clemson?
Yes. They did not have Lane as a play caller. And I remember she reminded me, I remember watching that game thinking, I wonder how much not having Lane hurt them in this one. But they couldn't plug and play there at offensive coordinator after they lost Lane. It was rough.
Yeah.
I'm giving Lane the edge over Freeze.
Listen, that's why it's a rough. That's a difficult question for me.
Which one is the better Twitter troll?
Oh, come on, bro.
I
Come
mean,
on, bro.
Lane
Come
is easily the
on.
better
What are we
Twitter
talking
troll.
about?
Freeze is probably a bigger terrorist.
What's Twitter?
Oh, he knows what Twitter is.
Dude, Kiffin in the Pine Box this week. Epic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Epic.
Yeah. Okay.
Epic. That's not even a question. SS Austin says, so do y'all like Lane? Mike does. If he hires a good DC, I think it's going up
to the moon.
especially with our
To the moon.
resources. Going up.
I mean, I think I'd say the same thing for like the same thing with Hugh Freeze. If he hires a good DC, we're going to have a great offense and a great defense. The issue that I have, and I've been very clear about this, my biggest issue with Lane Kiffin is the decisions, the situational
in-game management. Yeah.
Yes. That's my biggest issue with him is like sometimes he doesn't do the thing that you should do in the time that you should do it. Like you shouldn't go for it. You should not go for it on fourth down here, coach.
Right. Yeah. You do it anyway. You just know he has a bookie that he owes $80,000 because he bet on something he wasn't supposed to.
Right.
And
his defense. Like his defense has just been.
Yeah, he just hangs his defenses out to dry. Yeah. He hasn't traditionally had great defenses on teams that he's coached. I mean,
I would be reluctant. I would be kind of nervous for who signs on to be his defensive coordinator because of that reason.
Yeah. If they pay him 10 to 12 a year, whatever is being floated, I'll be interested to see what the
rest of
the staff contract is going to be.
Yeah.
Because traditionally Auburn has paid their coordinators very, very well.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, I mean under Gus we had I think a top 5 paid coaching staff in the country. And
we ballooned our payroll this year under Coach Harsin. He just spread it amongst more people.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll be interested. The numbers matter. When I was talking to Zach this morning, he didn't seem too concerned about the number, but I am, because I think it will say a lot about what they're thinking. You know, there's so much money to pay somebody right now. I think Saban is the highest paid coach at like 11 something million a year, 11.3 or something like that.
Yeah,
you know, and everybody else falls behind that. But when you talk about giving a guy that kind of money before he's won a championship.
Right.
Yikes, man.
Listen, man, Dabo and Brian Kelly reset the market, though. Like, that's just a fact. They reset.
That's true. Market. That's very true. And that's a good point. I think it's a valid point that the needle may be moving for what the average college coaching salary is. It may not be uncommon for a Big Ten or SEC coach to be making $8-9 million a year in a few years.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Especially with all the TV money that's going to be coming in after Oklahoma and Texas join.
And I think that's what a lot of people are pointing to as well. There's going to be a lot of money to go around in that regard.
Oh my God! But there's going to be a lot of folks stuck with coaches with bad hires because the buyouts are $80 million.
Right? They're going to be miserable for a while.
Yep.
Tyrone Long says, Mike G, what is wrong with Freeze for Auburn's coach?
I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like he did a lot of nothing really at Ole Miss. Like, it looked pretty, and he recruited, above average. But like, I don't know, some of his off the field stuff too. I'd rather have Lane's problems than Freeze's, if you ask me. All right, I'd rather have Lane is just the right amount of dysfunction for me, and Freeze is like, ugh. I wish he wouldn't have said that, right? Like that kind of, I don't know. Lane's, he's a little smarter. He's a little bit more media savvy. I like guys who understand the impact of social media. I think that will serve Lane Kiffin well here. And I don't think Freeze gets any of that, honestly.
I will say this. Kiffin versus our Auburn Twitter will be an unstoppable
It's
force.
going to be amazing.
Unstoppable
Kiffin, memes, and Pablo just getting together after every game to just post
the Twitter Avengers
foolishness. It's gonna be so
funny.
great.
That is funny.
It's gonna be so good.
Auburn fan says again, Thomas Sanders, thanks for the gift sub.
Thomas Sanders,
welcome. Thanks again,
Welcome,
Thomas.
Hero.
Eric's Candle Company says you can do DraftKings in Alabama. I've won and cashed out.
Oh, what? I kind of hate DraftKings. Yeah, I'm a FanDuel guy, but now I got to go back over to DraftKings. Fair enough.
Yep.
Let me test that theory.
Tyrone Long says, have you noticed Kiffin is mostly recruiting dual threat QBs? His offense is looking like Gus.
No, they're not. Their offense, I mean, he has dual threat QBs, but his offense is not looking like Gus's. No.
I mean, he's running the ball a lot. I think that's what
he doesn't trust his quarterbacks to throw the ball. Once he trusts a quarterback to throw the ball, he's going to throw it a bunch. Like, that's the one thing I do like about him is that he has an offense that's adaptable to his quarterback, but he knows how to put collegiate and professional pass concepts into his offenses as well. Like, he to me is a modern day offensive coordinator mind. Like, between him and Gus, if you're comparing those two offenses, Freeze's is definitely in this decade.
You can do DraftKings in Alabama. See, this is why community is important. Because they always tell you something you didn't know that you need to know.
Were you saying something?
Sorry.
No, I was just talking about how Gus's offense is antiquated in my mind. But
what I am impressed with
and most people are trying to get dual threat quarterbacks to these days.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Like,
what I'm impressed with Lane is that he has his evolution through different eras of offense, because we know him from USC, where they were like pocket QB, kind of like 3-step drop, under center, to what he's doing now. I'm impressed with his evolution. I will say that.
He continued to evolve. It's almost like Gus Malzahn was Auburn basketball last year. He peaked too soon. He peaked really early, and then he fizzled out. Yeah. And it's like he never figured out how to get it back going once everybody caught up to him.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna grab a few more before we get out of here. SS Austin says, if we get Lane, how many wins does that train take us to?
There's way too many other things that have to go into this equation before what does our offensive line look like? Who's the defensive coordinator?
We usually
how many
answer these questions
come in
the closer we get to the season. But we're going to have a lot of excitement talking about how these pieces do come together.
Yeah. I mean,
does in the portal.
It's hard to make this prediction just solely based on the coach, right? Like, you've got to know who the quarterback's going to be, what the system's going to look like.
And we know what he does in the portal. So once we get the full picture of what he does with our roster, we can definitely talk record for sure. Mike says, if we get Kiffin, thoughts on Travis? See, I think this is what Mike G was getting at right here. Thoughts on Travis Williams as his defensive coordinator? He's used to coaching defenses with a fast-paced offense.
He's up for the Assistant of the Year award, isn't he?
Broyles?
Yeah, he's up for the Broyles, I think, this year. So,
nice.
I mean, listen, I'm a Travis Williams guy. So, I like it. I like it a lot. You're talking about somebody who is going to be a player's coach.
Talk about poetic justice, too.
Oh, man, listen, and with guys like, I mean, to me, he brings the same energy to the players that Caddy does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, and that's never going to be a bad thing. So, you
got Travis Williams. What about Travaris
Robinson? Yeah, would be my other guy. Like, he was coaching draft picks at defensive back, and for whatever reason, he just wanted to stick with Muschamp everywhere Muschamp went. I'm not sure where Travaris is at right now, but
is he at Alabama? He's at Alabama.
Okay, so that's disappointing.
That was tough when it right. That was tough when I could see it hurt. It hurts.
Yeah, but I like it. I like the idea of, not just because he's an Auburn guy, dude. He's good at his job. Let's start there.
Yeah,
he's good at his. He's clearly good at his job. And if it weren't for foolishness, he might still be at Auburn.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Right. For sure. Good conversation, gentlemen. Tell the folks what they need to do.
You need to come on here and get yourself a gang name on here. Yeah. Just come on, man. Become a member of the War Report, man. $5.99 to get you to the patron level to be able to do that. If you want to get all of the insider goodies that we have as far as film breakdowns and such, make sure that you get yourself that patron status, $5.99 per month. Or maybe someone here in the community wants to gift some memberships and you could randomly be given one. You can do that as well. If you didn't get a chance to win something today, have no fear. TheWarReport.com is here. You can go there and shop and purchase anything that you'd like to there. There are some new things up in the War Report shop that I just haven't announced. I just design stuff every now and then and just throw it up in there and see if people see it. And I don't make no announcements about it. I don't know that that's really good marketing strategy, but I do it anyway. It doesn't matter. Just go over there and check it out. TheWarReport.com. You can check that out as well as other things that we have available, articles and such. We are the Auburn Express, powered by the War Report on all of your podcast situations. Mike talked about Mike Mack and the memes. That is audio only stuff, content that we have over there. You can go check that out as well as previous episodes available in audio format for your listening pleasure while you're on the go.
Guys, we want to thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. Before you get out of here, share this video on social media. We had a good show. Help people to find this great content and join in on the conversation. Smash the like button on this video. Get them thumbs up, y'all, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Guys, we're also on other social media platforms. That is Twitter, Instagram, at The War Report. And we are TW Report on TikTok. Zipper now, guys, but we will definitely catch y'all this weekend. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week. And as always,
Where
you go.